Hi, YouTube. Thank you so much for joining me for another live stream. I really, really appreciate it. It's so fun that people actually watch my ramblings on YouTube and that some people actually seem to really enjoy what I have to say about MLMs. And I did not expect anyone to watch any of my videos ever. So it's really fun that each one has some views and comments. And I really enjoy doing this. And talking live and talking about videos that I find interesting. Hi, Rich. Thank you for coming again. And today I'm really excited to have found a quick video from an MLM coach named Tanya Eliza, I think. And I've never heard of her before. I don't know anything about her, but this video is about how to be the best upline to your team without burning out. And she's going to tell us about how to be a good leader in MLM and how to help guide our team to success. So I'm really excited to watch this. And if you're watching live, feel free to leave your comments. And if you watch the replay, I would also love to hear what you think down in the comments too. So let's get started.
So your team is starting to grow and you want to be the best upline leader to your team. What do you focus on so that you have that balance? And more importantly, what you shouldn't do so that you don't burn yourself out, but you still are the best upline leader in your team. That's exactly what we're talking about in this episode. So stay tuned.
So first, this video is for people who have a growing team and who want to make sure they're the best upline leader for their team. And so we know already that this is not going to be relevant for 99% of people in MLM because we know it's extremely hard to recruit anyone in this industry. And vast majority of people aren't going to be lucky enough to actually have any kind of team underneath them. Hi, Live Panic. Thank you for coming again. It's great to see you. And yeah, so we are already this video isn't relevant for the majority of people.
Lifestyle, I love my ass. I did not sign up for this.
Gary says, hello, just here for the snacks and empathy. And Live Panic and Gary, if you guys just jumped on now, this woman is telling us how to be the best upline coach or upline leader for our team. And she was just reenacting a little scene there with her upline texting her constantly, and she's getting frustrated because she's like, this is not what I signed up for. And she like stomped away, and she's trying to be funny, of course, but there is a truth to that. We've heard stories across YouTube about how upline coaches are constantly in their coaches or upline leaders, sorry, we're not just talking about Beachbody, are in their distributors' messages and constantly checking in and making sure that they're doing their income producing activities and that they're on all the calls and they're following up with all the customers and potential downline members as quickly as possible. So we know she's kidding around, but that there is some truth to that. And there's also a big pressure to respond to your upline, to your customers, to your downline right away, or else you could miss out on a sale and you're going to lose income.
Welcome to episode 170. My name is Tanya Eliza, and I help entrepreneurs and network marketers create success fast while most importantly designing a lifestyle that you love. So if you're new here, consider
the lifestyle you love. That's the big part. We all know MLM is all about selling a specific lifestyle of financial freedom, of time freedom, of doing what you want when you want. We know that that's how a lot of people actually get pulled into the scheme because people will pull on your emotions and look at your pain points to figure out what exactly you're missing in your life and prey on that to get you into the scheme. Susie Q, love watching your confidence grow in these lives, Heather. Aw, Thank you, Susie. That's lovely. I'm really enjoying doing these, and I feel less and less awkward the more often I do them. So thank you, Susie. I appreciate that.
Subscribing because I put out a brand new training episode and free resource for you and your business each and every week. So if you don't learn how to be the best upline leader to your team, you're going to enable your team to be lazy and dependent. And that's not something that you want, because that is not where you get the leverage inside of your business. And you want to breed up leaders, right? You don't want to have a bunch of dependent people that you have to babysit, and it all starts with you. So in this episode,
So she said, if we're not good upline leaders, then we're going to breed team members who are lazy and dependent on us. And that is not going to bring us the leverage we want in our business. While listening to this during work today, for a while, I could not figure out what leverage meant. I think she means that leverage is money, right? And so if we have team members who are just depending on us for everything, who aren't working independently, they're not going to be making us any money for in our downline, because they're not going to be doing any business building activities. Gary says pain points. That is just about right. Yep. Good point.
I'm going to give you 5 things that you should do to be the best upline leader. Now,
Oops, sorry. So we have to remember this. So she tells us it's our fault if our team members are not producing, are not building their businesses and finding success. Remember that.
Episode of Tanya Eliza TV, if you tune in, you know that I love to equip you with a free resource that you can download and use in your business to create success with fast. Now today, since we're talking about being the best upline leader to your team, having that balance and not getting burnt out, I want to give you one of my favorite resources that you're going to love, and it is my network marketing leadership guide. So how to turn yourself and your team into leaders. Now, if you'd like to pick up that guide and follow along, head over to the blog at tanyaeliza.com/170 and pick it up. And I will leave a link above or below this video, depending on if you're watching on my YouTube. Check out the description box. And if you're already on the blog, there'll be a big yellow button right below this video where you can request access to my network marketing leadership guide absolutely free, so you can follow along in this episode. Okay, so
that was one long ass intro. It was like 2 minutes and 50 seconds, but she's telling us all about a free resource that we can access. And we know a big problem with these MLM coaches is that they are, in my opinion, re-victimizing people who were already victimized by the MLM, who are already losing money because of their MLM, their involvement in their MLM company. And then they see a video like this. She seems very intelligent. She seems very nice. In real life, I would probably want to be friends with her, honestly. And I think this woman might be hooking you in with a free resource that you think may help you run your business, but then you'll realize that it's not, and and you'll need more support from her. And I think potentially this free resource is just a way to pull people into her coaching community and potentially get money from them in the future. What do you think about that? Leah says, hello, I got to catch up, but I'm happy to be here. Hi, Leah. Thank you for coming. We're just learning about how to be a good upline leader in our MLM.
The first thing that you have to do is set the expectation from day one. And when I mean day one, I mean before somebody even comes into your network marketing team. If they're asking, what kind of training do you give? What kind of leadership do you give? Rather than telling them that you're going to do everything for them just because you know that's maybe what they want to hear, I want you to set their expectation and let them know that you're looking for leaders, and leaders will always find a way. And you don't do everything for them, but you will help them and guide them to build their business. That way, when they come in, their expectation is already set and you have not created a big old mess for yourself. And I have to share something.
That's fine advice as long as you're being honest and reasonable when you're having that conversation. I hope that MLM uplines won't say, oh, I'll help you every step of the way. I'll guide you through everything. And then once they come in, they don't help them at all. Or I'll guide you a little bit, but you have to take the lead here. And then you'll find that you can't reach out to your upline at all. You can't get in contact with them. You can't ask them any questions at all. So, on the surface, there's nothing wrong with that advice. It's good to set your expectations clearly at the beginning of a conversation with a prospect. But I just wonder how truthful MLM distributors are being and if that is actually going to continue if that person joins the MLM.
Thing that I learned a long time ago from my good friend Lisa Grossman. So Lisa is a legend inside of network marketing, and she's built a multi-million-dollar network marketing team. So she definitely knows her stuff. So Lisa told me to do this with all of my new reps and teammates that come on board. She said, hey, grab a pen and paper, and I want you to write down these words. I will help you build your business. And then what I want you to do is I want you to write a line after you and build, like separate that right there. And she said, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna focus on the first half and I want you to focus on the second half. So I will help you, but you have to build your business. And I absolutely love that tip from Lisa. So I use it on all of my new teammates and representatives that come on board.
So that's an interesting point. I'm not sure if you've heard of Lisa Grossman before. She's in Prove It, and her and Jessie Lee Ward are best friends, it seems. Oh, this is the first time I did this. I put a comment up on the screen. Liv Panic says if they were really setting a realistic expectation, they would scare their prospects away for sure. That's an excellent point. So she's saying that we have to write out, I will help you build your business, and then put a line between you and build. And so the upline's responsibility is to help the individual develop, but it is the individual's responsibility to build their business on their own. So I think in that way, she's insinuating that it's not up to your upline to make sure you're successful. You have to take ownership of your own business and do what you need to do to find financial success. But I feel like earlier she just said that if the members of our downline are lazy, it's our fault because we were not a good leader and we did not set the expectations beforehand. So in one case, she's saying if our downline is not finding success, it's our fault because we're a crappy leader. But if they are finding success, it's not on us because they have to build their business on their own. I thought that was interesting. Mario says that sounds like the best way to shift responsibility. Yeah, great point. And Rich says, in other words, when it fails, well, that's your half of the equation. Yeah, you're right. It's just a way of shifting responsibility away from the fraudulent business structure, away from the pyramid scheme business structure that's actually set up for just a tiny portion of people at the top to actually make a good wage, good wage. And for them to get rich, there has to be lots of people on the bottom who are at the bottom of the pyramid, at the bottom ranks, and who are losing money.
Number 2, work closely with your new teammates for the first 30 days and then let them fly, right? Kick them out of the nest a little bit. If they fall down, they learn. People learn the best from their mistakes and trials and tribulations. So definitely show them, guide them, point them to tools, point them to resources. Do not be their everything every time of the day. Let them call customer support. That's what customer support is there for. But help them with the money-making activities and help them and guide them when it comes to mindset and training that's going to excel them further in their business. So work closely with them for 30 days and then let them fly. Number 3, use your resources and plug.
So out of the people watching here and those who will watch later, is 30 days enough for you to learn a new job and feel completely confident in what you're doing and feel like you don't need help from a manager? I feel like for me, 30 days is nothing. I would need like at least 2 months to actually feel relatively confident. And I feel like when there's no actual standardized training in these companies and these MLM uplines are the ones making up the training as they go, we know the training is crappy. We know it's low quality, and 30 days is not enough to actually know what you're supposed to do. Although we all know it doesn't really matter if you actually get high quality training. In all of my business activity tracker training videos, I said this 100 times. I said, I appreciate all of the training he's providing, all of the guidance he's providing, but but it doesn't actually matter because we all know that people can do exactly what they're told, and then if they can't recruit hundreds and hundreds of people, then they're not gonna find any level of financial success. So, what do you think about that with the 30 days? And Gary said, "What tools, what resources?" She's gonna tell us a little bit later about what tools and resources that we need. So, she's telling us after 30 days, we're not gonna guide them anymore, and we're just gonna point them towards the tools and resources. So 30 days is enough time to become a true beginner in any skill. Yeah, I think you're right in like a skill, sure, but I think for me, at least me personally in a job, I would need more than 30 days to feel actually comfortable. And in these kinds of companies, there isn't actually real training. And I feel like it's going to take the average person longer to actually figure out how to make money in an MLM.
Them into support channels. So for me, I make sure that my new reps have customer support's telephone number because I do not want to be customer support and neither do you. I plug them into our team Facebook group. And one unique thing that we have is a team Facebook Messenger thread. So the Messenger thread.
I just had to stop here. Live Panic says, call customer support. Guess who proves who the customers are? That's funny. And that's true. We all know. I'll use the Beachbody context because that's the one I know a lot about. But in the Beachbody context, if a coach wants to stay active, they have to buy a certain amount every single month. And all of their downline members also have to buy a certain amount of products every single month. And we know the vast majority of customers in Beachbody comes from the coaches themselves buying new releases, VIP early access to products, the merch, all of the products these Beachbody coaches have. We'll see pictures of Beachbody coaches in the morning with all of their products, and there'll be like $300 worth of Beachbody products there. And yeah, that's a really good point. Yep. These coaches, these distributors are the customers.
Thread is everybody on the team inside of this chat thread. So if anybody has a question or they need support or anything at all, they can ask in the chat thread. And chances are somebody on my team is going to be able to answer a question faster than sometimes I can, providing them with the best support, but also providing me with the best leverage. So if you don't have a team chat group started in Facebook Messenger, you might want to write that down and get one started ASAP.
So, in the Beachbody context, again, of course, I wonder what that means. A group chat, is that someone's entire downline organization or is that just their personally sponsored? Because some of these coaches in Beachbody will have like 200,000 coaches in their total downline, 50, 40, even 10,000. So I wonder how big these chats actually get. I've heard stories on YouTube from people talking about how all these chats they were put into in Beachbody, they were just dinging constantly all day long, and it was extremely overwhelming to try to keep up with all of them because they would be in their coach's total downline team chat, and then their personally sponsored team chat, and then maybe like an emerald or a diamond push group, and then the team chat for the rank that they were actually in. And it was extremely overwhelming for them to actually keep up with all those chats. I do appreciate that she has actual tangible tips here, and this is a really basic decent takeaway for her video. If you don't have a team chat, go home and make one right now. So I do appreciate that.
4, give them a checklist. So if you don't have a getting started right checklist, you need to have one. So get one made for your team and give your new representatives this checklist, and it will absolutely keep them on point and know that they're in exactly the right place, and they can see customer support's number, where they get certain questions answered, and they're going to have that guide. So provide them with that guide, give them a checklist.
I do appreciate that too. That is another tangible tip that someone can take away because if you're in a different kind of industry that's not MLM, you are going to be given some kind of checklist for your training that you go through, like an orientation where you learn like where your email is and like where all the documents are that you need to find. So I do appreciate that. I think that's a good tangible tip. However, again, like all of my business activity tracker training videos, it doesn't make a difference. Someone can do exactly what she tells her to do exactly what's on this checklist. And if they don't have the kind of personality where they can connect with strangers online and in person, and they can't sell a product or sell the opportunity, unfortunately, with how this MLM business structure is set up, they're not going to make any money.
Number 5, you want to recognize and appreciate your teammates. Let them know when they are being resourceful. Congratulate them for that so that they want to do it more. People will die for recognition more so than they would a paycheck. So recognize them on their birthday, recognize them on their anniversaries. I use a really cool tool called Send Out Cards to do that. I'll leave that resource in the show notes for you. However, find a way to make people feel loved and good in your environment. They'll stick around for a really long time, which is really great for you and your team, obviously. But more importantly, they're going to want to do more of that they're getting recognized for if you recognize them for that. So show them the love and put a recognition schedule together for you and your team. And that's one of the best ways to be the best network marketing leader out there to your team. And
I hate that. So we've talked about recognition lots of times within the MLM context, specifically Beachbody, but in the whole industry as a whole. So in Beachbody, that's one of the 4 vital behaviors that is actually on one of the checklists. And it's all about giving people positive reinforcement, because lots of people don't get that kind of reinforcement at work, at home. Maybe they don't have friends. Maybe they don't have genuine human connection in their day-to-day life. And she literally just said, encouraging people, giving that positive reinforcement will keep people in your team for longer, and people will want to continue to get that positive reinforcement. So it's just a secondary step from bringing in people based on their pain point of not having friends and genuine connections, and then making sure they stay in by celebrating every tiny little milestone, every little thing in their business that doesn't actually lead to any level of financial success. Recognition greater than a paycheck. She said, what? Yes, Gary, great point. And I think this was G on one of my recent videos on my channel. She was talking about the value of recognition in her classroom. So she's a teacher. And I think recognition for children, wonderful. We need to make sure that we're encouraging the development of self-confidence and self-esteem among kids. That's great. Recognition in an employment environment with adults is also great, but it has to be accompanied by a paycheck. I want to get paid. So I would love to get a trophy at work. I think that would be really cool, but I still want my salary. A trophy on its own is not going to feed myself or my kids, is not going to keep a roof over my head. So I hate this. I hate the recognition part of MLM because it's extremely predatory. It's drawing on people's mental health struggles, people's sadness, people's loneliness to keep them in this scheme for longer. Sorry, that was a bit of a rant, but it really upsets me.
Remember, I've got your back. Make sure to pick up the free resource that we put together for you in this episode over on the blog at TanyaEliza.com/170. It is my network marketer's guide to leadership, how to be the best leader and how to breed up the best leaders on your team so you can have a flourishing team. Obviously, everyone's doing well, they're happy, they're making lots of money, but more importantly, don't burn yourself.
We know it's impossible for everyone in a team to be flourishing and making lots of money because everyone cannot be at the top of the compensation plan. In Beachbody, you cannot have everyone be 15-star diamond and making $2 million a year, because every single diamond needs to have 2 emeralds underneath them, which needs to have each of those emeralds need to have 2 active coaches underneath them who aren't making any money. So we know that's false. That's impossible. You cannot have all 450,000 coaches in Beachbody be 15-star diamond, because then we would literally run out of the population of the earth and it would just keep going on and on and on forever. Just an endless chain of recruitment.
Out and you have that leverage that you're looking for and the leverage that I know that you want, because that's what network marketing is all about. So make sure to pick up that free resource over on the blog. We'll leave a link in the description, or just head over to TanyaEliza.com/170. Question of the week. Is there a good leadership tip that you would like to share that maybe you implement in your team that works really well? Share with me in the comment section below. We would love to see what you're doing. So did you get some value out of today's episode? I truly hope that you did. If you did, and you know that anybody else that could find value in this episode, smash the share button above, below, or around this video. Give it a like, give it a thumbs up, and I will see you on the next episode of Tanya Eliza TV.
So that's the video I wanted to talk about today. What did you all think about that? The recognition part, of course, upsets me the most. I can't stand that, but I do appreciate her giving us actual tangible tips. So number one, telling us to give our new people checklists of how to get their business started right. That's a big thing in all MLMs to do, what do they call it? Get started right business calls or something, where the upline will do one-on-one call with the downline member and give them all the information they need to get their business going. Liv Panic says she's okay, but nothing new here. Wish she wouldn't be sucking people in for paid training. Yeah, that's a good point, because it seems like she's making it seem like she's all generous and nice by giving us free products, but then we know that just going to suck vulnerable people into her coaching system, and they're going to be put into even greater debt, unfortunately. And I think that giving a new recruit in an MLM only 30 days before you stop giving them guidance, in my opinion, I don't think that's enough in this kind of industry when there's no actual standardized training. But anyone who's watching now or who watches the replay, I'd love to hear what you think about that down below. And if you think 30 days is enough to actually figure out how to work the compensation plan, what exactly you need to do to make money. I'd love to hear your thoughts about that. Mario says, I'm going to highlight this so you can all see it. It feels like there are little bits of truth that are sprinkled in to make the whole thing seem more legit. Like, yes, you should try to be friendly and give recognition where recognition is due. That's an excellent point, Mario, because in MLM, a lot of the stuff that these people say seems really reasonable and yeah, reasonable on the broader terms before you actually sit down and really think about what the things mean. And if you really listen to what a lot of these coaches say, it's actually can be very predatory and unethical. Her, not so much. She's actually one of the more reasonable ones, like Ray Higdon or Eric Worre. If you listen to what those two men say, you'll hear that they're being extremely predatory. And then Mario says, however, that's used to make a scam sound more legitimate. Yes, excellent point. So that's all I have for today. I hope you liked this video. Thank you to anyone who watched live, who left comments, anyone who's going to watch the replay and who leaves comments. Really appreciate it. I thought this was fun. And if you have feedback on the kind of content that I'm choosing to react to, or how I'm doing the lives, like my audio or my setup or my lighting, please let me know down below. I still don't know how to use YouTube, even though I've been doing this for months now. You're welcome, Mario. Thank you for coming. Thanks for coming, Rich. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.